evening will be an historical moment.
Now, a lot of people have come to America from other places. And one of the great crimes of the immigrant community, and I'm going to say this, one of the great crimes of the immigrant community is failing to recognize the importance of alliance and allegiance with the African American Muslim community. This is something that we all have to be aware of. You see, because you can't say to an African American, go back from where you came from.
The tree of Masjid Taqwa is a Muslim tree, but the roots of Masjid Taqwa extend beyond Islam. They extend into the earth of African American historical religion. And there are aspects of that tradition that will be critically important for the next 30 years. Amongst that tradition, having the ability to stand up for your faith in an environment where the odds are stacked against you, in an environment where everything you say and do can and will be used against you.
How many of us would have thought about studying in Sham if it wasn't for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sparking someone like Imam Zaid? How many of us would have thought about studying traditionally and then going into the academy if it wasn't for someone like Dr. Sherman Jackson or Dr. Ingrid Madison? And I want our young generation to remember never to speak ill of these people, never to have rancor against these people. Imam Talib, Rashid in Harlem, and his Shaykh who studied in Azhar University, Shaykh Tawfiq, rahimahullah. We stand on the shoulders of giants. Imam W.D. Muhammad, who when a woman came to him and said, I learned Arabic to teach, he said no, to make dawah. He said no, you learn Arabic to worship Allah. You learn Spanish if you want to make dawah.
In the Quran, the 47th surah is called Muhammad, but it is also called Kitab, war. Muhammad, peace be upon him, comes into this world to war against evil, to war against ignorance, and to war against falsehood. And we as Muslims, servants of Allah and followers of his Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah, peace be upon him, we are soldiers in the cause of Allah. So we cast truth at falsehood till we knock out its brains. Islam is under attack, and great scholars of Islam like our Emir, Imam Siraj Wahaj, are under attack.
You're part of it too. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I say it to many of my friends and neighbors. I say it to many of my close relations. At the beginnings and ends of conversations. To my mother and my father, my brother and my sister, the old and younger generations. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. I say it to many of my friends and neighbors. I say it to many of
He who taught mankind the names of all things, and so to begin, all praises to him. To be or not to be, your being is still for him, for he is one with no father or son, and the only one worthy of your prostration. He who controls the moon and the sun, every atom, including Adam, may peace be upon. Indeed, the best speech is derived from the Quran and the guidance of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. I seek refuge in Allah from the accursed shaitan, because I came from a prophet who was the best of creation. So let me begin with the greetings the angels gave to him. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
His Jama'ah, Masjid Taqwa, for me, represents a change. It's a transition. Going from an extreme nationalist position, extreme black nationalism, and coming into a popular form of Islam, recognizing the oneness of Allah Azza wa Jal, and then recognizing the brotherhood of humanity. This Jama'ah made the move probably in the smoothest way of any organization that we saw in the whole Western world. And so change, how do we leave our tribal connections, our customs, our traditions, our emotions? How can we change what is within ourselves? Because this is really where the help of Allah Azza wa Jal comes from.
We are here to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Masjid Taqwa. And the names that Shaykh Suhaib mentioned are all names that the great likelihood is that when we come back here to celebrate the next 30th anniversary of Masjid Taqwa, those names will no longer be among us. And this is part of the historical consciousness that we as a Muslim community have to grasp. We have to understand the moment that we are in. We are now in a transitionary moment. This is the early stages of our passing on the baton. Whether we like to admit that or not, it is already among us. It's already upon us, Imam Siraj. The gray in our beards, if it just doesn't tell us anything else, it must tell us that. And as a community, we must recognize the urgency of this transitionary moment that we are in. And it's in that context that we must reacquire a historical consciousness that enables us to understand who we are, where we are, and what time it is.
But I have been blessed to be a recipient of Masjid Taqwa's grace. I know the good that Masjid Taqwa did for me. And I remember the days when I was a young man, when I slept on the floor at the door working for the community, hoping to make something better, not only for myself, but for our people. But often those sacrifices that are made, they go unrecognized and they go disrespected. It is disrespectful for all the Muslims in America, who Imam Siraj made millions of dollars for them. It is disrespectful that he should even have to ask them for $1 when they should write the damn check and say, build it. Build it. But, and I'm going to end with this, you know when people really love you, not by what they say, but what they do. And one of the ways as a Muslim that you show your love for Allah is you spend your wealth in the cause of this deen.
Assalamu alaikum. I say it to many of my friends and neighbors. I say it to many of my close relations. At the beginnings and ends of conversations. To my mother and my father, my brother and my sister, the old and younger generations. Assalamu alaikum.